Well, here's the third verse in Acts 1:3. Let me again start by reading it using the Erasmian pronunciation. You might pause this and try it yourself. Okay, we're back. So the way I would pronounce it using the Erasmian way is something like this. Let me get my little caret out here. Hois, kai, parestesen, heauton, zonta, meta, to, pathein, auton, en, polois, tekmerios, diemeron, so it's elided, so it's kind of one word there. Tesserakanta, optanomenos, or if you do the other pronunciation, optanomenos, which sounds nicer, but optanomenos may be more accurate. Autois, kai, legon, ta, peri, tes, basileas, tu, theu. Okay, so there's a quick pronunciation of it. Now, for those of you who are reviewing your Greek, and you already know Greek pretty well, go ahead and try to translate it now. And we're back. So here's a translation. To whom also he presented himself living, after the to suffer him, we call this an infinitive game, and so it's something like after he suffered, by many proofs, through days 40, being seen by them, and speaking the concerning the kingdom of God things. So this is, we call this the substantive use of a prepositional phrase. The concerning the kingdom of God things. Okay, how'd you do? Now let's go into a little more detail with the interlinear. So this first line, hois, is what's called a relative pronoun. It's like a noun ending without a word, and it's a dative plural masculine. To whom, the to comes out of the dative ending there. To whom also, now normally kai means and, but in this case it's not in the right place. And when kai isn't in the right place, we usually downshift into either even or also. He presented. So nu with an epsilon in front of it is almost always a movable nu. Throw it away. Epsilon is a very, very common third-person singular past tense ending. The sigma with the epsilon tells me it's aorist, and there's my augment, that letter right there. Augments never come in front of the prepositional part of a compound. So this is aorist. He presented himself, reflexive pronoun, one of the nine kinds of pronouns, auton. With the autos with the epsilon rough breathing mark in front is the reflexive. He presented himself. He presented himself living, participle. After the to suffer him, after he suffered, that's a infinitive game. It's a temporal infinitive game. After. Okay, next line. We wouldn't say in many proofs. That's not good English. So probably in here means what we might call, it introduces a dative of manner. Well, how did he present himself? Well, he presented himself with many proofs, of course. This is dative plural masculine again, ois. Dihemeron, a preposition, and the object of the preposition, through days. And then how many days? 40, through 40 days. Participle again, optanomenos, being seen by them, and speaking, saying the things. It's substantive. You have to come up with it's neuter plural alpha, and so things jumps out of it. The things concerning the kingdom of God. So there's a nice little interlinear of the third verse of the book of Acts. Okay, so now let's go into the parsing of these. I've already talked a little bit, but let me show it to you more directly here. So hois is dative masculine plural from the relative pronoun hos. It's like an ending without a word. And at the very end today, I've included some links to some other YouTube videos I have. One of the videos I have are all the different songs and mnemonics that I know or have created to remember these endings. So hois is a dative plural, either masculine or neuter form. I already talked a little bit about the parsing of parestesen. What word is it from? It's from paristemi, which is a me verb. And if you know much about Greek, you know that the me verbs strike terror into the hearts of Greek students. They're not actually that hard, about 2.5 unique things about them, and you've got them licked. So I've talked a little bit about the parsing of that, aorist active. Aorist means it happened. He presented himself. There's no special connotation usually. It just says he did it. He presented. Blah. Participle. This is a participle, I said. Now, my aunt is an active participle. I know it's an active participle because of the new tau there, the nt. And then the alpha, if you know the song, Arkonantas antianta, it's an accusative singular ending, that alpha there, and in this case masculine. And there's nothing done to the stem. It's just the normal stem of zao, and so it's present active participle, accusative masculine singular. He presented himself, that is Jesus, who's masculine, living. So zonta's telling you about himself. That's why it's accusative, because it's telling you about himself, which is a reflexive pronoun that's accusative. And then this is this infinitive game, the temporal, or it's telling you about the timing. The subject, quote unquote, of an infinitive is in the accusative case, which is why auton here is accusative. So it's the him that's to suffer. And pathein is a infinitive. Ein is an infinitive ending. Six out of the 7 infinitive endings are alpha iota. But the other one, the one out of the 7 infinitives that you want to memorize is ein. Now, usually ein appears with a present infinitive, but I know that this is a aorist infinitive because of path. Path is the irregular aorist of pasco. How do I know that? Because I've just memorized it. And you might know that there's a dirty dozen of weird aorist forms. Again, aorist means unmarked, and so there's no particular connotation to this infinitive here. It just says after he suffered, blah. By the way, I do hope to maybe link to relevant videos. If you're just trying to learn Greek for the first time, or you're so rusty that you're overwhelmed, as I keep going through these from day to day, I will begin to both link relevant videos and maybe make some. So like I can see from just looking at this that I need to make a video on me verbs and maybe on second aorists or irregular aorists. So don't give up because I am wanting this to be a way for a person to inductively learn Greek if they just keep with it. Just watch it. You don't have to understand everything. And then optonomenos is a deponent. Men are passive participles. There's the men right there. But in this case, it's deponent. Deponent means it looks middle or passive, but it's actually active in meaning. And this is the only place in the New Testament where this word is used, optonomai. We call it a hapax legomena. It's only used once in the New Testament. So it's all the letters of the present stem are there, so it's a present participle, deponent participle. This ending, this os ending, is the one of the first noun endings you learn, masculine nominative singular, from optonomai, being seen. Actually, that sounds passive. Interesting. It sounds passive. Wow. Okay, so maybe it really is a present passive participle. I did a quick lookup of it, and it said optonomai, and so I thought, oh, it's deponent. But actually, I've translated it passively, being seen. So maybe it should be parsed as passive. Okay, in which case it would be from optono rather than optonomai. Okay, well, if you want to review a little bit, let's say you're just starting out, and this is really overwhelming. This is a YouTube video I made that basically goes through all of Greek grammar in a nutshell. It's like a half an hour run through all of Greek grammar. Watch it over and over and over again. If you're just starting out, here's a video where I present the Greek letters and their sounds, and then this is the link that has the basic endings of Greek. Well, Acts 1:3, we're on our way.